What's good, YouTube? Today we got another fantasy basketball video. It is week 3, or not week 3, is it? Yeah, week 3 of the fantasy basketball. And let's just say your boy cooked. So I'm excited, so excited. All right, let's get right into it actually. But the first day we got November 3rd, and what's today? Monday? Today's Monday. So the week ended yesterday, so I'm just doing a little recap, the huge. So, but yeah, this week I ended up versing this dude right here. Buddy has Wembyyy, and Wembyyy has been going stupid, just stupid. He's been getting hella points this first 2 weeks. Wembyyy had like the most amount of points, like fantasy score in the entire league that we're in. So he was going stupid. So I was low-key scared. I kind of counted this ahead of time as a loss. And I was like, I'm just going to count my losses. I don't think I'm going to be able to beat him just because of Wembyyy. And everyone around him, this is pretty solid for the most part. They get pretty decent fantasy points. So I was really not thinking I was going to win this, bro. Literally just because of Wembyyy. But fortunately, but unfortunately, one of his players got hurt. So I don't know if I would have won had one of his players played. But I did blow him out for the most part in this matchup. You'll see what I mean by that. But it was very close all the way to the end. It was very close. I'm not gonna give any spoilers, which kind of did, but you'll see what I mean. Okay, so day 1, November 3rd, your boy Cade Cunningham. Y'all know in the last episode I was talking smack about him. He's been hooping, bro. He's been hooping. I was saying like, he needs to give me like between 50 to 70 fantasy points as being my number 1 guy. Let's just say he's been delivering, bro. First day, 55 fantasy points. Let's get it, man. Anyways, but yeah, he had 55 versus Memphis. Simons, 19. Caldwell Pope, he was a pickup. He had 10. Disappointing pickup, by the way. Then we got Sengun, 42. He's been getting like 40 to 50, somewhere there. Almost 60. So I give him props there. And you got Kawhi Leonard, got 60 right off the bat. First day, 60 game. You got Wendell Carter with, he didn't play, sorry. Then another pickup, Jake LaRavia, something like that. Ravioli, something like that. He had 37. He was a crazy pickup because this game, I'm pretty sure they didn't have any of their stars. The Lakers did. They did not have any of their stars. So LeBron was out, Luke was out, Austin Reeves was out. So he had to step up, and it was versus the Portland Trailblazers, which they're decent right now. We'll see how good they are when we're like halfway through the season, because sometimes some really bad teams start out hot and then they eventually go back down to earth and start sucking. So Portland is one of those teams. Usually they start out really bad in general, but this year they're starting out pretty good. Anyways, I picked him up because nobody of their big 3 was starting, so I was like, let me get him. Gave me 37 fantasy points. Shout out him for real. So, and then we do have a few injuries. You got Jalen Suggs, and then I still have DeJounte Murray, Jaden Ivey on the IR. So we finished with 223 fantasy points for the first day. And my opponent, on the other hand, he had Brunson, 31, Levine, 19, 47 for McDaniels, 49 for Julius. So I was like, dang, that's kind of tough. That's like a 50-piece almost, rounding up for each of those guys. Then Aldama with the 14, 23 for Hawkins, and then Bam Adebayo, bro, 49, bro, Jesus. Luckily, Victor Wembyyy didn't play, so I was chilling. And he had Kelly Ware with 33. I used to have him on my fantasy because I was like, I feel like he can get lots of blocks, and he's pretty good like defensively. But I ended up dropping him for Al Horford, which once again that was a bad pickup. But y'all didn't see that. He finished for 265. So it's right now, this day 1 neck and neck. He's actually beating me, not by much, but what, like 20, 40 points, 20 to 40. What am I saying? Yeah, it's about 40 points that he's beating me by. So that's not too bad. He did have more players play than I did. I only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he had 2 more players, right? 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, so he had 2 more players played more than me, and I'm barely losing. So let's keep that in mind. All right, let's move on to day 3. You got Jalen Suggs, sleeper pickup. I promise you, bro. Like, he's coming back for injury, so you don't really know what to expect. But I know the Magic. I've seen him play. Okay, I'm not gonna say I know the Magic, but I've seen him play, and I know he's a very good, very try hard kind of player. So I picked him up, and he got 32 fantasy points. Solid all around. Herb Jones, we got him back. 20 fantasy, not the greatest. Better than he's been playing though. But like, the reason I got him back is because Zion Williamson, that's like their main guy for the Pelicans. He is out for a few games, few weeks, something like that. So I was like, more Herb Jones, more Trey Murphy. So we got Scotty Barnes, MVP, bro, 65. Hartenstein, solid always. And then Trey Murphy, 39, solid considering Zion did not play. So it's solid. Kevin Huerter, another pickup. I low-key should keep him. I ended up dropping him afterwards, but he was solid off because he plays off the bench, so he plays less minutes. He only played 25, which is decent for a bench player, but it's not like, 30 to like however many minutes a starter would play. So, but he had 24, so it's almost like a score of fantasy per minute, almost. Wendell Carter, 19. Gary Trent, another pickup, 16. Very mediocre, but I just needed players. So we finished with 254 for this day, and he only had four players play. So he finished with 96. So right now I'm leading, bro. Now I'm whooping some cheeks, if you know what I'm saying. But I'm leading. So I mean, he had pretty good contributions from this guy, 33, 31. RIP Desmond Baines. He's on the Magic. He was on Memphis. He's not off to a good start in Orlando, unfortunately. But it is what it is. So on to day 3, and let's look at this man, bro. Looking so, oh my god. Anyways, Cade Cunningham with another 53 ball. 53. That's what I like to see, man. I need my MVP to go crazy. But we got 53 from him. Simons with 26. Herbs with 30. He stepped it up. Yeah, Scotty didn't play. Hartenstein, once again, another solid 28. Something clean, cool. Trey Murphy, 31. 33 from Trey Mann. I picked him up, bro. I thought this was a sleeper pickup until you'll see. But he had 33. Sengun with 42. Mobley with 41. Jabari with 24. We had a really all-around solid game here. So I finished with 308 fantasy points. Unfortunately, Jalen Suggs did not play. I think they played the Magic, or the Magic were playing that day, but he did not play. Or am I tripping? I guess no, I'm tripping. He didn't play. Never mind. But yeah, he also had a lot of people play. So let's see. We got Brunson with 47. That's solid. 8 from this dude. 18 from Daniels. Julius Randle with 49. Wembyyy guy got me chill, but he fouled out this game versus the Lakers, and he only finished with 25. So I was like, all right, he was contained. Luckily, he went back to earth, because this dude, I'm telling you, bro, he was averaging like 50 to 70, almost 81 fantasy points because of like him getting blocks. Because blocks, like defensive things like blocks and steals, this holds so much weight when it comes to stuff for fantasy. And so he was just going crazy, and he was scoring, he was doing everything. But luckily he had a not so crazy game, and he only had 25. Isaiah Joe, unfortunately, but he played 26 minutes. He had 12. Oh, no. I read the wrong thing. I thought he had 0, but nah, he had 12. Not that great. Bam Adebayo, he didn't play this game, and he actually got injured this game, and he had 0. So that was very unfortunate for my opponent. Garland came back. He was injured for most of the season. Jesus, I can't speak. And he came back. He dropped 9. I'm glad he was just coming back, bro, because after this, he started dropping crazy points. Khalil Ware, another good game by him. He had 47. Golly, 47. And then Hawkes for 35. And then he had Devin Vassell on 23. Unfortunately, he had him off the bench. He had Bam in there. Bam got hurt. So obviously this 23 doesn't count because he was not in the game. So, or like in his lineup or whatever. So that's a blessing in disguise, but like I said, unfortunate. No one wants to see a hurt player. You want to verse your opponent 100%, but it is what it is. So he finished with 250, finished with 308. So your boy's still leading. It's slim, but it's a still lead right here. All right, November 6th. This day we had no one play. This is like actually like so anticlimactic because I thought I was gonna have Kawhi play, but he's actually out, unfortunately. So no one played. Only one team, or two teams rather. Only one game happened this day, and neither of us had players playing. Like I had one dude that was supposed to play, but I guess he injured himself or whatever. So had him in the IR, and I took away Jaden Ivey. So obviously 0 points across the board. And I actually didn't think this could happen, but I mean, shit. I think it's specifically on either Thursdays or Tuesdays. I think it's Thursdays or Tuesdays, but they only have like 2 games on. So if you have no players playing on that day, then you kind of don't really get fantasy points like that. So, and it was one of those days. November 7th, this is where everyone played because obviously the day before, no one played. So my boy Cade Cunningham, thank you, man. Thank you. And fun fact, they're on a 7-game win streak or 8-game win streak, the Detroit Pistons. You want to know why? Because Cade has been hooping, and then everyone else around him, you know, whatever, they're good too. So my boy dropped 61 fantasy points, and then you got Simons with the solid 22. This guy's a bench player, by the way, so he's been putting in some work. Trey Man, once again, let down of a game, only 7. And he's a starter, bro. That's why I was like, bruh, whatever. He only played 22, but still, like, come on, you gotta be better than that. Scotty Barnes with the solid 38. And then my boy, Hartenstein with the 80 piece. The crazy thing is, OKC is so stacked. They have so much talent on their team, and he isn't even the most talented one. Not even like the 3rd or 4th most talented one. He might even be like the 5th or 6th talented basketball player on that team, and yet he dropped an 80 fantasy points. W pickup. Yeah, so then we got Jalen Suggs with 27 solid, Jabari with the 16, 50 for Sengun, you know, another W pickup. Evan Mobley with 35, and Gary Trent, atrocious, only 2, bro. 2 is so bad. And I thought, I literally don't know why I thought this was gonna happen, but I was like, you know, I think Gary Trent's gonna go stupid. Let me put him in over Wendell Carter, and of course, Wendell Carter want to drop 28 fantasy points. It is what it is. You cut your losses. 338 for the day, and then let's see what he buys. And this is what I'm saying, bro. Garland came back from injury. He dropped him 42. Solid. 54 for Bane, finally. 53 for McDaniels. Julius with 44. Wembyyy actually did pretty good, 42. Vassell 37, his teammate. Hawk Hayes with 49. He's been hooping. Levine with 17, Claire Ware with 23, and Isaiah Joe with 24. So he finished with 385. So like I said, we're like neck and neck right now. Like it's anybody's game. Whoever does like the best in the last day is basically gonna win. But yeah, then I think Colin Sexton played, but he didn't. I guess he was out this game. So now we on to November 8th. Second to last day. This is kind of where it gets kind of like crazy, you know what I'm saying? Wait. All right, from the 3rd day, we have a solid 40, 44, 71 from Trey Murphy. Shout out him for real. And then 47 from Evan Mobley for a solid total of 202. And then my opponent had more people playing, but I had pretty solid players played overall. He had 28, 38, 22, 47, 25. 33, 40 for 233. So he actually outscored me because he had more players playing, but I just had a lot of value from the players that I had playing. As you can see, Victor Wembyyy, 47. So he didn't go crazy, but he did pretty good. Then we got our last day. So right now, this is neck and neck. Like I'm like maybe like 100 points ahead of this dude. All right, so we got our last day. K with the solid 43, not the 50, but 43 is still solid considering he played 41 minutes. The only problem he be having is that he be turning the ball over like crazy, and so it's like he does all this, but he turns it over. Had he not turned it over, then I'd probably get more points. But you know, it is what it is. I'm alright with that. So now we got Simons off the bench with 36, 20 from Jabari, 36 from Hartenstein, 47 from Jalen Suggs, 9 from Trey Man. Yeah, he's dropped. 43 from Alperen Şengün, 20 from Wendell Carter, 24 from Gary Trent. Gary Trent, he had 24 at the halftime. He finished with 24. Or he had 25, he finished with 24. Whatever, he got 20 plus. And then, I mean, 26, 23, 45, Zach LaVine did pretty good. 36, 15, 44, solid. 29, but the last day, I just overpowered him, bro. 278 to 224 for the grand total of 1,603 to 1,453. So your boy, the one opponent that he was low-key kind of scared of, he ended up winning. So now we on to our next matchup. Let me see, hold on. Make sure I have this correct. I forget how to do this. Okay, so yeah, now we on to our next matchup, and we got day one. We got basically almost everyone playing. I think I got him beat with this one. I mean, we'll see by the end of Sunday, but his like 2 star players, or his number 1 is one Anthony Davis, who was, I believe, injured. I don't know if he's playing, but right now he has him in the IR. And Dylan Harper, who's also benched. Once again, I don't know if he's playing. But I have a lot of people. I have Cade going against Washington, easy opponent. Then I have basically everyone good playing, and then I still have Kawhi in the IR or whatever. But yeah, y'all will see that in the next video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will catch y'all in the next time. Peace.